In today's video, we are going to be talking about how you should prepare for your virtual internship. Whew. What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Afzal Hussain. You can find out a bit more about me through the social media links below, or you can check out my website, which is www.afzalhussain.com. Today I wanted to talk about the virtual internships that you've probably heard of. So obviously, given the COVID-19 situation, a lot of summer internships, which are oftentimes 8, 9, 10 weeks long, they are either being condensed or moving back, so into July, August, or there are plans to have them done online as virtual internships. And so many of you who have summer internship offers would have received emails from your organizations. If you haven't already, you might receive emails in the coming weeks telling you that the internship or part of the internship is going to be done from home as a virtual internship. And so today I wanted to kind of tell you, give you some advice on how to prepare, how to best prepare for it. And hopefully it will be information that will be useful for you given the current circumstances that everyone is facing. Okay, first tip is don't wake up right before you're meant to sign in. So that means if you've got an 8:30 a.m. morning meeting, you don't want to wake up at 8 a.m. You want to wake up at least an hour or two before your first meeting or before you need to log in and get to work. Now the reason for that is, let's say you wake up an hour before, it gives you enough time to wake up, freshen up, feel good, get changed, put on some decent clothes, and be ready to tackle the day. You don't want to just wake up straight away and go and log in, because you don't want to be waking up during your first meeting. You don't want to look tired, especially if you're an intern. You want to give your best impression. You want to show the people that are on the other side of the screen if you've got a meeting, or in general, you want to show your team that, you are taking this seriously. Even though you are doing a virtual internship, you are there to kind of convert it into an offer. You're dedicated, you're serious, and so the best way to do that is to wake up as early as possible to give yourself enough time to tackle the day appropriately. Waking up 2 hours before your day starts is also good advice, because it allows you to get in, a 1 hour workout in, or 1 hour of reading, 1 hour of preparation ahead of the day. Scheduling in that time will allow you to know what's to come ahead of that day, and so being prepared, preparing the night before for the day ahead is very, very important. One very important tip, and I've mentioned this before, is always, if you're not going to do it the night before, do it the morning of. You want to plan your day. What are your key priorities? What do you want to accomplish for that day? What are the most important to-dos of that day? Because you want to get to the end of the day and look back and feel like you've had a productive day. The best way to do that is to plan ahead of the day starting. This is very important. If you are going to be doing a virtual internship, which literally is basically working from home, you need to make sure your workspace is clean, tidy, quiet, and it's somewhere that has a very good Wi-Fi connection. This is vital, because the last thing you want to be is in a meeting. Let's say, one of your seniors in your internship decides to include you on a conference call with a client or an online meeting with a client. The last thing you want is to cause hassle and problems because of a poor Wi-Fi connection. So it's very, very important to be in a location or in a spot in the household where there is a good Wi-Fi connection. It's an area that inspires focus and the right mindset in order to get work done. To add to that, always keep a notepad and pen by your side. Throughout your virtual internship, you're going to be catching up with a lot of people, and also you're going to be in lots of meetings. You don't want to take notes on your keyboard, because it's going to be causing noise for all the other people on the call. And also you might think, what if I just mute it? Sometimes you're going to be in a conversation with another person, and so to type notes on the keyboard is going to be disruptive. So keep a notepad and pen and take notes on the notepad rather than typing it on a Word document. So before we carry on, I want to say a big shout out to my wife. She actually started a new job as an investment manager, and her first day in the office was online. Because of COVID-19, she's having to start a new role working from home. So she hasn't really been in the office, hasn't really had a full day of work in the office. It's all been online for the last 2 or 3 weeks. And so she's shared a lot of the tips that I'm sharing with you, because she's kind of lived through it in real life, and so she thought it would be valuable for me to share this advice with you. So shout out to the wifey. This is a very important point. Make sure you're being open, honest, and transparent in your calendar. So When you enter the world of work, you're going to have access to your team's calendar. So let's say there are 5 people in your team, you're going to be able to go into Outlook, go into calendar and see what John is doing, see what Michael is doing, what Michelle is doing, XYZ. You can see their calendars, and that's important because you're going to be collaborating, working together, and it's important to know who's available when, if you want to put a meeting in their calendar and vice versa. So when you're working from home, be very transparent in your calendar, make sure it's very organized. It's totally normal for you to put breaks or lunch or workout, gym, whatever it is in your calendar. But what will annoy every single person that you work with is if you're away from your desk, let's say on lunch or going for a workout, and you haven't put it in your calendar and they're trying to reach you. The easiest way to communicate with them is to update your calendar. So if you're going for lunch from 12 p.m. to 12:30 p.m. or from 12 to 1, block it in your calendar so they know that you are going to be away from the desk at that time. Similarly, if you're going for, if you need to just clear your head, you need to go for a break, or you're going to get 30 minutes of reading in, just put in your calendar, reading XYZ article. Maybe you're catching up with someone that's not in your immediate team, you want to put catch up with and that person's name, 30 minutes in your calendar so no one in your team suspects that you're just chilling or not working. It's very important to keep your calendar up to date. This is a very important point, and it's one that you should contact HR or someone in your team, maybe your buddy or your mentor or your manager, and it's regarding dress code. Obviously, when you work from home, everyone that works from home, they are in a bit more relaxed clothing. Like me right now, I'm in a jumper. But as an intern, impressions are very important, and although it might be dressed down or relaxed clothing, or you might see your teammates in t-shirts or very casual clothes, they've got their offer, right? They already work at the organization. You're not there yet. You've got an internship which you want to, it's basically a 10-week interview, right? You want to convert it into a full-time offer. And so even if they say to you, yeah, it's relaxed, you don't need to wear a suit and tie while you're working from home virtually, but you might want to wear a shirt. Nice, crisp, ironed, cleaned shirt. You don't need to wear a tie, you don't need to wear a blazer, but keep it smart. You can, if the bottom half of your body isn't going to be in the frame, if you're doing a video call, you can wear shorts or comfortable joggers or tracksuits or trousers. But for the most part, upper body, make sure it looks presentable, make sure it's smart casual. So shirts without ties, blouses for females. Don't overdo it, don't worry too much. You can wear like a thin jumper on top of a shirt, that's fine. I see it like this. If you've got an intern and they are too comfortable, they are too relaxed, and you've got an intern who makes the extra effort and you don't know which one to hire, they're both equally as good as each other, you're likely going to go for this intern because they put in that extra effort. So it's always worth going above and beyond, so don't get too comfortable with the dress code. Okay, so networking is a very important aspect of the internship. If anything, it's the most important aspect of the internship. You go into an organization, you spend 10 weeks, but more than anything, you are spending 10 weeks meeting lots of people. Individuals from your direct team, individuals from other teams within your division. So let's say in asset management, you would have your immediate team. You would be meeting individuals there, catching up with them every so often. You would be meeting other members of other teams within asset management. And then also on the internship, you have access to other employees from the investment banking division, sales and trading, operations, technology, so on and so forth. So the networking aspect of an internship is where the true value is at. From those networks, you can, land interviews, you can learn more about different divisions, and that can help you in your search for your ideal career. Now, when you're doing this virtually, you still need to try to catch up with as many people as you can. How you do this in person is a 30-minute catch-up. So you and the person go for an informal coffee or just informal chat in one of the offices. How you do it online is reach out to the relevant people that you're interested in and ask them for a 20 or 30-minute virtual coffee. Virtual coffee, simple. They're going to be expecting it. It's weird if you aren't connecting with people in the organization, and you don't need to only connect with people in your team or in your division. You've got access to a global organization, and the beauty of this is it's going to be the norm to converse and chat with individuals who are not just working in your location. Because of virtual internships, it makes it more normal to catch up with someone in a different region and have that telepresence or have that video call with them. So make sure you're putting in 20 to 30-minute virtual coffees into people's calendars, because that is what's going to help you stand out and build connections and relationships with the people that will matter most and serve you well when the internship period is over and when they decide whether to give you an offer or not. Typically on an internship, there comes a time where you might want to work shadow. So you might go and sit next to a trader for 30 minutes or an hour and see exactly what they do for the next 30 minutes or 1 hour. They might be showing you how a system works, how a system operates, how to execute XYZ trades. Or you might sit next to whoever it might be in the organization and they might show you an important tool or something on the screen that is worth knowing. That doesn't need to end because you're doing a virtual internship. Make use of screen share. Be proactive about doing this. Reach out to people and say, if there's, or when you're catching up with people, say to them, if there's anything that you think would be worth me seeing you work on, or how a specific software works, or, you know, if you think it will be valuable for me to kind of work shadow you, I would be happy to, you know, join a screen share session with you in order to learn more about the systems and the work that you do specifically, blah, 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 blah. If you want to be, you know, if you want to bring in 1 or 2 of your friends, you can have multiple people on one screen share. That way you're saving that employee a lot of time. You're saving them from doing the work shadowing 3 or 4 times with different people. You're bringing it all to one. You're collaborating effectively, you're showing teamwork, and you're bringing people in, which is a trait that a lot of people respect, and it would serve you well if you can display it. So don't forget about screen shares. It's very, very important. When you're in an office environment, it's easy to see when the workday ends because you see lots of employees getting up and leaving. You know, it might be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 p.m. Whenever it is, you can get a general gist of when the workday is coming to an end. When you're doing your virtual internship, it's going to be harder to gauge what time the workday ends. Chances are you will have your manager or your buddy or your mentor tell you to log off, don't worry about working no more at a certain time. But you should try and be one of the first in the office and one of the last out of the office. It's an internship, you're there to put in work. Don't worry about the work-life balance too much. Having said that, don't burn out. Burning out is one of the worst things you can do. Burning out happens when you overwork. So I wouldn't encourage you to be, you know, one of the last interns in the office and one of the first interns out of the office. You want to be the opposite. Come in early, leave late, but don't just hang about if you've got no work to do. You don't want to give them the impression that you are struggling and so you're in the office for too long, or in the office for too long if it's a virtual internship. So manage your day, implement breaks, you know, a morning break, 15 minutes to go and, typically in the office you would go and grab a coffee, you might go out to the shops, whatever it might be. Implement that in your own virtual space. So you might go downstairs or you might go to your kitchen and have a coffee, you might go grab some fruit, whatever it is. I've read an article today actually, and it said that Goldman is going to, or they are exploring the idea of shortening their 10-week internships to 5 weeks. So they might not do it online, they might do some of it online, but they're going to shorten it to 5 weeks. So rather than starting in June, they're going to start in July. But those of you who are Goldman interns incoming will receive the full payment. So you'll get paid for 10 weeks, but you'll only do 5 weeks work. So you have no reason to complain for working longer hours. A lot of the organizations are reducing the duration of the internship, but still paying you for the full duration. At this stage, you know, when I was in your shoes, I wouldn't really care too much about the money. The value is actually doing the internship and meeting more people. So there's pros and cons to a shorter internship. But, you know, I would definitely recommend you focus on your work-life balance to a certain extent, but don't try to overdo it or underdo it. Find the balance in the middle. This is very important. In order for you to successfully convert your internship into a grad scheme offer, you need to make sure you're communicating well with your buddy and your manager. So your manager and your buddy will likely be in your team. You might have a mentor who's in a different team, but catch up with them every day or every other day. It's good to kind of check in with them. Hi, this is what I've been up to, this is what I've been working on, this is how I'm feeling, this is what I'm learning. Just fill them in. It's their role to make sure you have a good experience, and it's your role to kind of tell them how your experience is going. Be open and honest, because it's a two-way process. They are kind of interviewing you to see if you fit the role in the team, but at the same time you're interviewing them and the organization because you want to work in a company that you can see yourself growing, that you see yourself being happy in, and that you see yourself being able to create and produce good work. So see it as a two-way process, and always catch in with your buddy and your mentor and your manager every few days or so. In terms of what's going to happen across the board with the investment banks, some banks are going to reduce their internships from 10 weeks to 5 weeks, and they're going to push the start date back. Instead of starting in June, they might start in July. and that all depends on, you know, when we are allowed to end the self-isolation and quarantining, and, you know, how this whole COVID-19 thing plays out. Some banks are going to do their full internship, but they're going to do it fully online, so it's going to be a full virtual internship. Some banks are going to do a mixture of both, so they might do part of their internship online and then part of it in the office. Either way, I thought this video would be useful for you in case you do end up doing a virtual internship. So whether you do a virtual internship or an in-person internship, hopefully this video has been useful for you. If you're doing the in-person one, check out my video. I'll link it below in the description for my tips on how to smash your in-person internship and convert it into a grad scheme offer. But that's it from me today. Hopefully you liked this video. If you have, it will mean a lot if you give it a thumbs up for me. If you haven't already, do subscribe to the channel. If you are subscribed, turn on post notifications. Let me know in the comments if you've got any questions or video suggestions. Make sure you check out my Instagram and LinkedIn, and I will see you in the next video next week. Peace. P.S. I just wanted to say, I hope everyone who is watching this video is staying safe during these unprecedented times. Make sure you stay home in order to save lives. Hopefully this crazy time period in human history will be over sooner rather than later, because it's causing a lot of disruption and it's getting in the way of all of our lives, and hopefully it can be done with soon. But I will see you next week. I'll keep making these videos. Thank you for watching them, and yeah, thanks.